I'm back in the 22 Toyota Tundra redesign. It's good to be in this truck again. It's very, very nice. There's so much technology and amenities built into this limited TRD off-road trim. But instead of doing a traditional review, which I pretty much have done several times on this vehicle, especially when I was out in Texas reviewing it, I'm going to be answering your questions because there is so much that has transpired since pre-launch to post-launch, and I'm ready to answer those questions as best as I can to help your decision, whether you're buying a truck or just to satisfy the curiosity out there about the Tundra, because there's a lot of stuff going on. Ryan has a huge question, and I can't answer all of it, but you're asking about turbo lag and fit and finish. So let's address turbo lag as I back out of the BRoll location. Man, is this gorgeous here. And we're just going to, I'm in normal mode. I'm just going to hammer down. And there it goes. A little bit of chirping of the rear wheels. The engine, I forget how good Toyota made this twin turbo V6 sound. It sounds pretty good. No, it doesn't sound as good as the V8, but man, it sounds decent. Anyways, turbo lag is there. And actually, it's not really turbo lag. A lot of people think it is. It's the transmission lag when you need power and you want to downshift. So I'm going like 25 and I'm just going to hammer it. There was a huge delay waiting for the transmission to downshift. I don't know why people think it's turbo lag. It's definitely transmission lag. And if I put in sport mode, it's maybe a touch better, but you still have it. And it's not specific to the Tundra. It kind of is like this on all 10-speed Toyota and Lexus models. And that includes, well, not the LC500, not that 10-speed, but the LS kind of has it. It's a little bit more has a little bit more quickness to an LS, but the LX, which is based off the same TNGA-F platform, has that sort of transmission lag. It doesn't bother me. And how often am I going to be going from cruising to just hammer down? It's very rare. And most of the time you're going to probably push into the throttle like 2/3, in which it goes. And it's kind of fun hearing the turbos whine. It's kind of a weird experience in a Toyota full-size pickup truck, but you can hear them whine up. It's pretty neat. Now, Ryan was also asking about fit and finish. To my relatively untrained but very picky eye, I don't see anything sticking out that shouldn't be here or anything that's misaligned on the exterior or the interior. I haven't been getting out the ruler though to see how close everything is fitting, but to me, to the naked eye, it looks like it's very, very well put together. I don't hear any creaks or rattles. Nothing looks unfinished. Everything looks very production quality and what you would expect from a Toyota, but I know your mileage will vary depending on all sorts of different issues. Just gonna hammer through this green light. And it handled, and I know that road back there has a huge dip in it, and it handled it really, really well. And the ride quality in this new Tundra is phenomenal. It's very luxury-like, and I haven't driven the capstone yet, but I'm sure that's even another level because they have more acoustic glass on that vehicle. I love the fact that all my climate control settings are here. I just needed to raise the fan speed there because, man, it is hot here in sunny Southwest Florida. Mark is wondering why you would pick a full-size pickup truck over something like the Tacoma. Well, like I just mentioned, it's luxurious in here. The Tacoma does not feel like a premium vehicle. It feels like a very budget-minded, rugged pickup truck. This thing is a man for all seasons. You can take it off-roading. You can go across the country in comfort with ventilated seats, heated steering wheel. This one doesn't have the panel roof, but like there are so many features and technology pieces to this Tundra that the Tacoma just can't hold a candle to, let alone the ride quality differences as well as the overall powertrain sophistication. Some people might prefer to have that naturally aspirated V6 or naturally aspirated 4-cylinder on the Tacoma, and you'll get better fuel economy just slightly probably on the 4-cylinder Tacoma over this, but I'm getting about 16 miles per gallon, but I've been idling this vehicle a lot, and before I was idling it, I was taking my daughter to school, and it's getting about 20 miles per gallon doing in-town commuting. So I think that's probably best case scenario, 20 miles per gallon in town, but on the highway, probably best case scenario there is 25 miles per gallon, and the iForce Max Hybrid is gonna be slightly better. Hard into the brakes though. A lot of progression, but it's just very reassuring, lots of power to back it up. with the brake feel, so no problem there. I turned on the automatic 360 camera. 360 camera in here is awesome, but it's not just that, it's the multi-train camera when you want to go off-roading. So here shows your roll and pitch angles. It's pretty cool. I'm in the city. I'm more of a city boy, so that's doesn't do much for me. I'm going to be using that 360 camera to pull into parking spaces and to pull out of parking spaces 99% of the time. Mark is asking about the wastegate issues, and to be honest, I haven't been keeping up with it probably in the past couple months. I cannot speak directly from Toyota, but from the sounds of it, it was about 1 to 2% of all Tundras were affected by this wastegate issue. I'm not an engineer. If you want to look at a more detailed breakdown of it, you can look at my friend David Chow at Automotive Press's YouTube channel. He probably goes into it a little bit more. But 1 to 2% for over 100,000 vehicles is thousands of vehicles that the customer is having to deal with. So unfortunately, that's the issue. It has nothing to do with the turbo, but something to do with the sensor, to my knowledge, and it's not actuating properly. So the whole turbo, I think, needs to be replaced to replace the sensor. I don't know, I'm not an expert on the issue, but it's unfortunate. And that's another thing, you guys are asking about fit and finish and this turbo issue. It doesn't affect the vast majority of vehicles, but this is what happens with first model year vehicles. And keep in mind, there's nothing on this Tundra that carries over from the last Tundra. So you have all these growing pains, new platform, new engine, new transmission, new technology, new interior bits and bobs. Everything's new on here. New suspension as well. So like nothing is the same, and you're going to have growing pains to get this truck to be perfect out of the production line. And yeah, just because it's a Toyota doesn't mean it's exempt from the rule is, hey, just be careful when you're buying first model year vehicle on a new redesign, because you're going to have some quality control issues pop up more than likely. Again, the vast majority are not going to see those issues or have those issues, but your chances are much higher than it would be on a second, third, fourth, etc. year production vehicle. Mono Neo's asking about the world beater hype up of this vehicle, and it didn't really pan out to be that, and that person was disappointed. Well, take everything you hear from anyone before a vehicle comes out with a grain of salt. That's the most important thing. Set your standards and hype as low as possible, so when the product comes out, I'm going to turn that auto off, so when the product comes out, you see it more for what it is than what your expectations were unrealistically. We're all human, we do it. I probably overhyped the hell out of this vehicle too, just because I get excited about new Toyota products and all Japanese and Korean products. I get excited, so I tend to hype things up. But as I get more knowledgeable in this industry, I tend to set my expectations as low as possible, and that's why I'm somewhat entertained and happy about the new Integra. Go crucify me for that, whatever, but you guys have to keep in mind to protect yourselves going forward and your expectations. Don't always believe what myself says or other media outlets about upcoming products, even though we all love hyping it up. The hype train is the most fun part. The hype train is more fun than me driving this vehicle, there's no doubt, but we got to keep those expectations in reality at least some of the time. And no, it's not a world beater, but man, this is a really good pickup truck. And if I was buying a full-size pickup truck, I wouldn't be buying any other one, just because of the reliability in Toyota's past. We don't know exactly how well this twin turbo V6 will age, etc. Man, she is going hard. She would kick my ass, that's for sure. I'm not in that sort of shape. Larry Legend is asking if the Tundra should be built in San Antonio or Japan. Well, there's a reason why it's built here in the United States, and that is because the chicken tax. There would be a huge import tax if a pickup truck was imported into the United States from an external country. That's why all the manufacturers build trucks here, even Nissan, they build their trucks here. That's why we don't have the Hilux, and that's why we build the Tacoma. And even though the Tacoma's Mexico, they avoid the chicken tax because they're part of North America. And same for Canada as well, because Canada builds trucks for the big three, I believe. Pickup trucks will always in America, always be built in America to protect the American truck makers, most notably the big three who sell and make their fortune on the American-made or North American-made pickup trucks. Would the build quality be better if it was built in Japan? That's up for you to decide. That's like an ongoing debate, but yes, it'll never be built in Japan, nor will the Sequoia. The best thing you can get is body-on-frame SUVs from Japan, and we have plenty of those from Nissan, Infiniti, Lexus, Toyota. I think that's it from all the Asian automakers that I cover. Libertarian Neighbor is asking probably my favorite question out of everyone so far, and he's talking about batteries. Like, why doesn't it have a lithium-ion battery so I can have more space underneath the seat, so I can have an onboard generator like, let's say, the F-150 hybrid and other Toyota hybrids that they have that 1500 watt inverter. Like, why can't the Tundra have this stuff? And I wish I had an answer for you. Here's the crazy thing. It's not necessarily limited to the nickel metal hydride battery why you can't have an inverter, because if you look at the minivan, the Sienna, that's nickel metal hydride, and that has an optional 1500 watt inverter. So it's not due to the battery chemistry necessarily. They picked nickel metal hydride for longevity. They've had it so long in their vehicles, they know exactly how long it's going to last. Also, this is Toyota. They know to make money, nickel metal hydride's cheaper than lithium ion. The possibility is LFP batteries, lithium iron phosphate, which is not as energy dense as traditional lithium ion, but they're really cheap to make, and they do pretty well at cold temperatures from my understanding, probably as good as nickel metal hydride. So that could be a possibility before even lithium ion. So why don't we have a plug-in hybrid? Well, if you look at the electric motor on, not this vehicle, this one's not the iForce Max, but it's only around 48 horsepower. That's not enough to propel this truck. So they would have to swap out to a different, much more high potent electric motor, at least 200 horsepower, right? For a plug-in hybrid model. And man, can't imagine how expensive that would be. I don't see that happening possibly until solid state batteries are a thing. So solid state batteries come, they can fit a huge energy capacity battery pack underneath the rear seat, and have a plug-in hybrid, and it's going to be packing massive power. So that's probably not till the later half of the 2020s when we would see a solid state battery plug-in hybrid. It's a possibility, but yeah, they'd have to swap out that electric motor. And some of you might be asking, well, why isn't there a fully electric one? Well, Toyota's building a battery plant in North Carolina. That'll be done in 2025. I wouldn't expect a plug-in hybrid or a fully electric Tundra, full size, or even a smaller pickup truck like the Tacoma to be a plug-in hybrid or fully electric by 2025, but probably more likely 2027, 2028. So it is unfortunate because Toyota is the king of hybrids, and the hybrid Tundra is definitely a letdown in my opinion. If I were getting a new Tundra, I would skip the hybrid altogether. Yes, on paper it has more torque, but it's also heavier battery pack, heavier electrical equipment, and then you also have the electric motor in there, and your fuel economy is what, 2-3 miles per gallon better. It's not a world beater by any means. Like, my favorite Tundra is probably like the SR5 TRD Sport. Still, you can get a lot of features on it, save a little bit of money. Truck looks great. It looks better than this TRD off-road. I don't like the silver bezel handlebar mustache grille on this. I'd rather have it paint matched like the TRD Sports. But unfortunately, we probably won't see an inverter, electrical inverter for 1500 watts or more until like a mid-cycle refresh, like 2025 at that point. And maybe we see a plug-in hybrid at that point. That would be amazing, but yeah, I don't know if they're going to wait for solid state batteries. Anyways, next question. Alan Green from overseas is asking, is it better than the American competitors? And it just depends on who you're asking. Me, of course I'm going to say yes, because I cover Japanese and Korean cars. But the big three make really good pickup trucks. If I wanted to keep my pickup truck for a long time though, I'm picking a Toyota product every single time. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. Some people, I mean, the technology, there's no way you can't say the technology isn't as good as everyone else, if not better. Hey Toyota.
How can I help you?
What's the weather tomorrow?
Here is the weather for Naples, Florida on Monday, May 16th. Brilliant sunshine.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Like, most other brands don't have that sort of artificial intelligence built in. Yes, I could ask my Google Assistant as well because I have the largest Android Auto screen I've ever seen. I love this huge fat square on this 14-inch screen. It's too bad that this is blacked out. I wish this would be like the radio settings or something, because I do like listening to the radio and seeing like the album art as well as the artist in the song. I like having that up a lot. I know I can have it on the MID here, but this small MID on this model, it's just it's bare minimum. In my opinion, it's better than the Americans. The Americans might have slightly better power, or slightly better fuel economy, slightly better towing ratings, and that's, pardon my language, but it's just a contest that I don't care about those things. Does it do everything really well? And the answer is yes, and then some for the average consumer. It's a very comfortable, quiet, luxurious pickup truck. It drives great. I love the twin turbo V6. The transmission's a little bit slow if you just hammer it down while you're up to speed, but if you hammer it while at a stop, it's very responsive. And if you mildly get into acceleration, it handles it really, really well. Fuel economy is a lot better than the outgoing V8 Tundra, while having more power and more towing capacity and payload capacity. Wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay is amazing. The option of a panel roof, the option of a heads-up display. Like, this is a quantum leap over the outgoing Tundra. And the cool thing is that Toyota has like grade levels for, I know all the other competitors have tons of different customization options and trim levels, but surprisingly Toyota has gone above their old selves and offered more packages, more trim levels. We have the capstone, which is just ridiculous. The TRD Pro, which is more ridiculous and ever looks awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of Q&A interaction slash driving review style. It's a little bit different than more of a traditional review where I'm going over everything on the interior and exterior. I prefer this, to be honest. It's more fun to interact with you guys as best as we can over the internet. And I'm gonna sign out from the new Tundra. It's a great pickup truck, tons of technology, tons of features, good power, looks great in my opinion, especially in the TRD Sport, my favorite one. But anyways, signing out. Have a wonderful day. Smash the like button if you haven't. Subscribe for more Toyota news and reviews. At the time of this recording, in just a couple weeks, ToyotaCon 2022, HQC Confidential 2022. So I'll be driving the new Sequoia there. Yes, based off of this F platform. Sequoia's only iForce Max hybrid, which is pretty interesting, but I will be driving it there, giving you guys my impressions, as well as tons of other Toyota and Lexus products. But thank you so much for watching. Signing out from the all new, awesome Tundra. Take care.